on visual.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, to the PC. I think it would be good to start off and congratulate the PC on his successes. I think the CIT heists is a type of a cowboy crime where innocent bystanders usually get hurt. So taking those thugs off the street, PC, you did the country and the province a great service. Madam Chair, with all that being said, and I alluded to the MEC that's also working hard on the ground. I've also attended Ukai Malau, and would I like to further congratulate the generals on the ground that's doing hard work and doing footwork and not sitting in the offices and watching other members do the work, but that they are on the ground. So with that being said, Madam Chair, I think that the General, the PC, understands the importance of him being hands-on in Gauteng and taking crime head-on. With the establishment of this special unit, we immediately saw impact and we immediately saw successes, and that warms my heart. With that being said, Madam Chair, we look at statistics sometimes and we get a bit desensitized. Each one of the numbers in this report is a human being that either lost their life, their dignity, or property. And that saddens me. Sometimes when we look at these statistics, we see they go up and down, but we forget the impact on the community in large in Gauteng. And I think we should get back to a point where we start feeling the hurt that the Gauteng community as a whole are feeling. PC, Madam Chair, through you, the last CIT heist that we saw and the previous one in the West Rand, it is clear that these thugs have certain influences or connections within the SAPS. We've seen numerous clothing articles that you gathered there, as well as firearms, and this to me is concerning. We did not, or yourself did not, allude to the firearms that have been confiscated in the last raid. You alluded to it being R5 rifles and some other pistols, etc., DM4s. But if it's R5 rifles, surely it should be military or police firearms. And my question would be to the PC, if they ascertained if these firearms do belong to ex-police or members or then SANDF firearms. Madam Chair, I think with the stats being as they are, we see some green ones that went down, and we are happy for it. And then we see some extreme increases in some parts and portions of the report, and that is worrisome. But I think the focus should be on firearms and the integrity of the police uniform. The PC alluded to over 1,000 firearms that was confiscated, and that is great work, and thank you for that, PC. In the same time, we lost 175 plus firearms from Norwood Police Station, and that was in police possession, and that is worrisome. With the CIT heist in the West Rand, we also saw firearms that came from the police, and I'm sure that this CIT heist will also show that there's firearms that came from the police in this last instance. The uniforms are a great concern. We know on the freeways in Gauteng, we've got gangs operating as police officers, pulling people over, hijacking them, taking their money, and taking them to the ATMs to draw some more. And that is a worrisome factor. And I think that with this new CIT complement that we have. We should also maybe broaden that spectrum to look for uniforms and police firearms further. Madam Chair, I don't want to speak too broad. I think my other colleagues mentioned a few things. I just want to add my 2 cents to the illegal shebeens, and this is a problem for SAPS. And I'm saying that because the other departments are failing SAPS on this. And I sit in these meetings and constantly SAPS get beaten over their head for not closing down or not being hard-handed with these illegal alcohol selling places. The problem with that is, Madam Chair, they are bound by papers that get from the liquor board, and if they get to a premises, usually there's an application, or there's an application pending, or there's a temporary license given, and this is a liquor board problem, and it's a consistent problem, and the liquor board is not coming to the table to sort out the internal stuff. There's a lot of corruption, and I'm saying it. There's a lot of corruption within that department, and I think the way we're going to solve this is to send the SAPS to the department and not to the illegal shebeens. The problem is within that department, and that should be sorted out. Madam Chair, last thing, and then I'm going to stand down. I went to a meeting, thanks to you, to the NPA. And one of the things that really upset me in that meeting was the fact that illegal immigrants, the Department of Home Affairs are failing the police again with regards to illegal immigrants and the paperwork. And then there was a court case that said, you know, they gave them 4 months to rectify some issues within the law, and that has not happened. So the problem that the police are sitting with is they cannot act because the laws of this country is not in place. And that is a big problem. And I can see on the faces of the generals and the SAPS guys there, you know, the frustration that they have. If we look at this last CITIs, it was clear that it was a lot of Zimbabweans that were involved in this. If they were properly vended or checked at the borders, or their documentation was right, then you can look for fingerprints, and that would assist the police. But if somebody comes over the border without being vetted or checked by Home Affairs, how can the police get hold of that person? How can they identify that person? So, Madam Chair, you know, we always throw rocks at the SAPS, and that's fine. Some of what is happening is the SAPS's fault. But I think with illegal immigrants and the surge in crime that we have to support the SAPS in Gauteng and all over the country by reprimanding these departments that's not servicing the rest of South Africa. We have to stop the Department of Home Affairs corruption within the department, and to allow these things to happen, and stop blaming the SAPS for everything that's wrong in all the other departments. I think it is time that we urgently set up a meeting with Home Affairs, Madam Chair. I would really appreciate if we can do that. Set up a meeting with Home Affairs and with the PC if he is willing, and that we sort out and stamp out the issue of illegal immigrants, documentation, and the rest. I thank you, Madam Chair. Have a nice